Lewis and the news here on the Mix 93.1, 104.9 FM. Stuck with you, and you guys are stuck with me 8 to noon Monday through Friday. Thanks for being with us. As promised, I told you guys we had a special guest making her way on here, as she does every single week. Coach Kendra Whisenhunt of EOSC Ladies Softball makes her way into the studio, as always, to talk about what is, what was, and what will be with some Eastern softball. First and foremost, Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
I think that's the most important way to start any conversation, just with a nice little good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, for sure. Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. The fact that it's 70 degrees today is going to be nice, and it's not 100 degrees, so I will take that.
And it's not raining.
Oh, not yet. Next week, supposedly. It's coming, though. But Coach K and I will sit here and talk a little bit of softball, because there's a lot going on with the Lady Mountaineers, who, for the first time really this season, are starting to receive some votes to be nationally ranked in Division I, and have maybe the most highly anticipated matchup of their entire season coming up here tomorrow. But first, it's going to start with Connor State over this past couple of games. A doubleheader that you guys split, losing game 1, picking up game 2 to move up to 8-2 inside of the region. Overall, your thoughts on that matchup against Connor State? What went right in that second game, but what went wrong in game 1?
Yeah, we knew going into it that it was going to be, a tough series, a tough game. It's always our rival with Connors in every sport here at Eastern. So, it's a hostile environment, which is fun to play with or fun to play in. So, I think we pitching started off a little rocky for us in game 1, and our bats just didn't really respond. We came back, but not enough. And then in game 2. We kind of battled back and forth, had some great pitching from K-Bud from Cali, who gave up 2 solo shots, but then settled down nicely. And then Grogan came in and with a tie ball game and got the win.
So I want to talk about the game 1 pitching. That's kind of what you and I were talking about before the mics went hot here. And it starts with Punk Underwood, who's had a really good year, a 2.34 ERA. She's 11-4 this season. But she's starting to get hit a little bit over these last couple of games. And really for the first time, as I look at box scores and everything, Punk maybe had her most inefficient game. Just 2 1/3, giving up 6 runs. And, we were talking about just missing spots a little bit. But what was happening here over these last couple of games where she's starting to get hit a little bit more, see a little bit more of those runs, and how can you make those adjustments to help get that ERA back down?
Yeah, I just think she's needs to sharpen up a little bit. There's a couple of pitches that are hanging right now. Her changeups are kind of a little bit predictable right now. We've been working on it. She had a good day in practice yesterday. She started off so hot, and, you got to remember she is a freshman. We've put a lot on her for that game 1, but she just got to go out there and pitch with confidence because, we have a good defense behind her. We have Grogan who can come in and help her out there. So I think she'll be all right. She'll be fine.
And I think I remember having similar conversations with you last year about your starting pitcher in Chloe Hill, where had a really good first half of the year, and then that second time through struggled. And you were saying kind of those same things where it's just find your stroke again, find that confidence again. And it really, really worked and clicked with Chloe. Do you think that it's more so just like a mental approach, or just need to see that first strike go through and you'll move forward a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's both. Like with Chloe last year, we have film. Everybody watches games. Everybody does their homework, and the first part of the season when we're playing those non-conference games, there's not a lot of film out. They don't, we don't play these games regularly, or these teams regularly. So just not having that out there with her being a freshman too. It's just other teams doing their job and trying to see what they can figure out about pitching. But, I think, yes, I think her confidence may have been down a little bit, but, we're working on that. It's something that's got to come within her. But I think she's going to be fine. It's just what happens to pitchers. So
the other starter that you had talking about pitching is Callie Budd, who had a really good game too, 5 innings, didn't pick up the win, but definitely went and played well.
Yep.
Going back to a school that she was supposed to play for this year, what sort of momentum do you think that has for her as this season's going to continue on?
Oh, I mean, definitely it's going to continue on. On the other side of that, you have Jaxie Glasson, who hit the go-ahead grand slam against Connors. So, both of those kids were obviously out there wanting to do whatever they can to help the team and to, get a victory there for that game too. But they're both doing great throughout the whole season. We've been excited to have both of them. So we're excited about tomorrow.
Now, I'd be remiss to not give Madison Grogan a little bit of a nod here, coming off of the Region 2 Pitcher of the Week selection here this week. Grogan got the win in Game 2, pitched both games, and if you look at the box scores and everything like that, Madison's numbers are ridiculous.
Yes.
The ERA super low, her efficiency is way up, and just from an eye test perspective, that ball out of her hand just has so much life to it. I want to talk a little bit about her impact for this team. Yes, in the diamond and everything she's able to do to help you guys out, but off the field as well, because from what I hear, Madison is just such a great personality to have around.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to give her her due for winning that award for the NJCAA Pitcher of the Week here in Region 2, but also just what her impact has been to the program and to your guys' success this year.
Yeah, first on the week, she had those 2 games against Connors, but also she got a win against Coffeyville and a save against Coffeyville, and then one of the wins against Connors there. But yeah, she's just a great kid that she puts her head down and works. She's somebody who is great in the classroom too, straight A student. But coming off of this injury that she had from her senior year of high school, it's made her kind of, we didn't have her much in the fall, even in the weight room. She was not able to do too much. So I think it's great for, her teammates to see what kind of competitor she is too, because, it would have been different in the fall with her for sure able, to be able to pitch then with our Mountaineers Unlimited games and our inter-squad situations. I think her roommate made a comment. I think it was her second or third outing this year, was like, man, I didn't know she was that good, because they didn't see her in the fall. And so, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you should have saw her in high school. She was a bulldog for sure. But no, she's that like calming presence out there. She doesn't show a lot of emotion. I mean, she will show a little bit of fire whenever, she throws a pitch that she didn't like or that didn't work the way she wanted it to. But no, she's a competitor, and we love having her here.
I love that you say calming presence. If you watch a single Mountaineer softball game this year, whether it's on our streams or even you, I'm sure, sitting in the dugout, she goes out there in the circle, and it's like, all right, we're okay.
Yeah.
It just emanates off of her, and that's an awesome thing. So congratulations to her for winning that award. And, that confidence trickles down into the bats as well, which is another thing I want to talk about really quick before we touch on Seminole State. The top of the order continues just to be dominant for you guys. Maisie, Jaxie, Josie, Dakota Hall still has those RBI numbers up where she's one of the best, in not just in the region, but in the nation and getting those runs home. The bottom of the order struggling a little bit, especially as you begin prepping for a team of Seminole State's caliber. What can you do to kind of light the fire underneath your bats again just to help things excel?
Yeah, I think right now they're thinking too much and trying too hard, which obviously can have the negative effect there. And I think that's what's happening. I think they get so antsy and want to make want to get a hit, want to score a run, do all those things. And so right now we're just kind of forcing it and popping balls up. And so I think, just to know that they need to trust themselves and just go out there and just do what they've been doing all year. We had a great practice yesterday. Like I said, we worked on both sides of the ball. We went inter-squad because technically we were supposed to play yesterday. Our Carl Arbett game got moved to Friday. But it's, we had a little competition in there too, where they had a partner, and if they popped the ball up, they both ran. Or if they didn't get a bunt down, they both ran. And so it was a little bit of a competition there. And, I think that just, breeds the competition and the, competitiveness for our game tomorrow.
So 25-7 now overall, 8-2 in Region 2, and receiving votes to be ranked amongst Division 1, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Do you feel this gives you a boost a little bit as you prepare for another ranked matchup against Seminole?
I'm honestly not thinking about it. I'm just thinking about Seminole right now. Obviously we know what their ranking is. It's up there. Our job is to go out there and compete and do the best that we can.
Well, that'll take us right to Seminole. 8-0 inside of the region. As we sit here right now, the best team from a record standpoint in Region 2. And man, as I've started to look and prep for this game, which will be live and free tomorrow on Mountaineer Radio, Mountaineer TV, 2 p.m. doubleheader, this Seminole State team is good. They can steal bases really well. They can hit really well. And they've got a starter in Gracie Major who is virtually untouchable if you look at just her numbers. As you begin prepping for the Seminole State team, what are some of those things that you're starting to see on tape that you're preparing for tomorrow?
I mean, they're a team that's going to go out there and they'll put a bunt down or they'll hit a home run. You know, they've got all of the tools and they use them. They're pretty fast on the bases. They take a lot of extra bases, like you said. But you know, we just have to play our game, play defense. We have to play clean. We can't have the errors that we've had in these other games and win a tight game like this. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be good competition. You
and Coach Flores on the other side, two of the more veteran coaches here inside of Region 2 who did not have great seasons from what the goal perspective was a year ago. Both of you guys wanting Region 2 titles, both of you falling short last year, and both of you coming into this season with very sophomore-heavy lineups. Very, very veteran. What are some of those things that you feel as though you guys as coaches now coming into this matchup I got to rephrase a little bit, make this such a difficult matchup between the two of you guys?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think both of us have a chip on our shoulder. You know, it's, you know, Seminole's always they've won our region for the past, I couldn't even tell you how many years as far as the conference record goes. But yeah, they haven't won the tournament in 3 years now. It was Rose last year, the Connors the year before. You know, so they're still fighting for that. And, you know, I keep telling the girls, like, it doesn't matter who it is on the other side. You know, every game counts. Every game counts for seeding purposes for that tournament. You know, we still have that wild card, Baton Rouge that comes into our tournament that, you know, throws a wrench in the process there. But, you know, we just have to go out there and compete. And I think that's what she's doing too. I mean, it could go either way, and we just got to fight for it till the last out. And I mean,
Baton Rouge, that was a team that made a lot of noise in the tournament last year up in Piedmont. The other thing that this Seminole State series signifies is the halfway point of Region 2 play. This is the last team you guys haven't played, at least unless there was rainouts or something I didn't see on the schedule as I started doing everything. First half of the Region 2 series done, getting ready for the second half through. What do you think is the biggest takeaway that you guys have through the first time through the Horn?
Just that we deserve to be there. You know, we're there. We're doing everything right. I think we're going to have to make some adjustments for the second round because, you know, they're going to know what we have, and you know, vice versa. We know what they have. We know what pitching they have. You know, for example, the Enid series, I think we saw all of their pitchers but two. When we played at NEO, Deja was hurt, so we didn't see her. So it means the other teams have somebody else up their sleeve, so we're going to have to keep fighting.